You can successfully restore quail populations by providing 3 basic habitat components. These include shrubby cover, bare ground with an overhead canopy of annual plants, and diverse managed grass. The first of these, shrubby cover, is a daily requirement for quail survival. It's needed for loafing and protection from predators and weather. Good shrubby cover must have bare ground underneath with upright growth of plants. Ideally, this habitat needs to be at least 30 feet wide. Quail usually avoid shrubs that have been overtopped by large trees. Exceptions, however, include pine savannas and other woodlands where the tree canopy is higher than the height that a quail usually flies. Overtopping trees should be removed and the stumps treated. Quail will not be attracted to shrubby cover that has a sodded understory. Grass should be sprayed periodically to restore the shrubs for quail habitat. Old plum and dogwood thickets have canopies that are too thick and tangled for quail to flush through. To demonstrate what is needed, imagine throwing a volleyball in the top of a thicket. If it does not fall to the ground, it's too thick for quail. Shrubs that no longer have an upright growth habit should be cut. Unlike tree stumps, do not treat shrub stumps with herbicide. These need to re-sprout. Another quail habitat component, bare ground, is a must for brood-rearing cover. Quail need 25 to 50% bare ground for brood rearing. It allows quail chicks to move about and find food to eat. Managed grassland can produce seeds and attract insects. You can create proper brood-rearing cover by planting food plots or disturbing the soil surface with light disking and prescribed burning. You need to create enough bare ground to support a diverse mixture of annual plants and legumes. Brood-rearing cover must have an overhead canopy of 12 to 18 inches for protection from predators and weather. Most annual weeds will provide the best cover. Ragweed is the most desirable. If planting a food plot or crop, consider no-till soybeans, milo, and tame millets. Row crop that is clean-tilled will not have enough insects to feed quail chicks. Little or no herbicide should be used to encourage annual broadleaf plants. Legumes such as lespedeza, alfalfa, and some clovers are recommended. It's important to realize that legumes that become too thick at ground level will discourage quail use. Thick cover, including too much clover, may be attractive to insects, but it's too difficult for quail chicks to move around and find food. Mowing is not an acceptable practice for quail habitat. It decreases plant diversity and encourages thicker grass stands. The third quail habitat component, grassland, needs to be managed to keep plant litter at a minimum. Grass species that grow in a bunch, such as little blue stem or orchard grass, are best for quail because they require less intensive management to maintain diversity. You're better to avoid sod-forming grasses such as fescue or smooth brome. To get the proper grass diversity, you should disturb about 1/3 of each field every year. This will allow the same field to provide nesting cover, roosting cover, and brood-rearing cover. Quail respond better to this practice rather than disturbing the entire field all at once. Quail habitat has the same characteristics whether the quail reside in Texas or northern Missouri. To better understand quail habitat needs, however, you can compare it to a floor plan of your house. Bedrooms are not in a separate building from the kitchen. We don't have to leave the shelter of our home to get to other rooms. Quail need the same protection. Most of the time, quail will walk, needing overhead protection from predators when moving between rooms in their house, so to speak. A football field can give you a good mental picture of woody cover needed for quail during winter. A football field is 160 feet wide, and from the middle of the field to the sideline is 80 feet. Quail are normally found with 70 to 80 feet from shrubby cover during the winter months. Now let's consider quail along the midline of the field using our winter distance from shrubby cover of 80 feet. Without woody cover, quail probably could not exist in this area. The amount of usable space defined by the distribution of woody cover is 0. Add woody cover along one sideline, and with quail located within 80 feet from the wooded sideline, one half of the field is usable. Now add woody cover along the other sideline, and the entire field is usable. Quail can be anywhere in the field and still be within 80 feet from woody cover. Again, usable space is 100%. Incidentally, a football field covers about 1.5 acres. This aerial photo shows a successful management plan to restore high numbers of quail on a property. Note the distribution of shrubby cover in yellow and the long linear layout of food plots shown in blue to maximize edge and usable space for quail. Prescribed burns are conducted in small patches of 3 to 5 acres, as depicted in red. This provides both brood rearing and nesting cover in each field. Practices done in a small patch pattern create more edge and will make more of the landscape available for quail use. Burns done on a larger scale tend to minimize patches and do not produce the same quail response as patch management attracts. Quail habitat has the very same characteristics regardless of where you are located. Researchers estimate that it may take between 1,000 and 4,000 acres of suitable habitat to maintain a sustainable quail population. If you live in an area with few quail, you must work with your neighbors to increase the size of the area that is managed for quail. To recap, the 3 main habitat components include bare ground, shrubby cover, and diverse grasslands. Managed well, you and your neighbors will enjoy quail and continue to see its population grow.